Hey. Welcome to another segment of Sincerely Stan, where we talk about things that matter to you. I hope everyone had a great weekend, great Memorial Day weekend. Remember, we have to honor the veterans and those that died on behalf of our country. Um, Me personally, I had good company, and we just basically stayed in and acted as though we were at a barbecue. It was good. It was good. We had a good time. Today we're going to talk about a gentleman signed HBO, help a brother out. HBO is in a particular situation. Some wouldn't call it a situation at all, or not a negative situation anyway. But this brother takes it very seriously because it concerns his work and personal life. So here he is. Dear Stan, I know men probably don't share through this kind of platform. I just need the opinion of another male that has no personal or emotional connection to what I have going on. Well, first of all, let me say I'm glad that you chose me. I'm not quite sure why, but I'm glad that you chose me, HBO, and I'll see what I can do to help you out. I'm a 42-year-old black male who is in a work situation that causes me to be uncomfortable every day. I'm in a 3-year relationship with a woman I love very much. Man, she has made my life brighter just by knowing her. My family likes her, they think she's good for me, and I agree. I'm thinking marriage. I grew up in a Christian household. I've been a Christian since I was in my late teens. I try to live a life that pleases God every day. What's going on is I have a new female manager on our team at work. She is my direct report. The lady is beautiful, charming, smart, and she's a great manager, but I have seen her be very vindictive when things don't go her way. In spite of her positive attributes, she's really a force to be reckoned with. Uh-oh. The problem is, for the last 6 months or so, she has kind of publicly made it known that she's attracted to me. The people around the office are getting hip to it. It's becoming sort of a soap opera kind of thing. She laughs at all my corny jokes. She's constantly asked me out to team after work events. When I decline, she makes quips like, "Why, you have to run straight home? Mama Bear won't let you out." She says it in a joking manner, but I feel she's kind of trying to humiliate me into submission. My question is, my question to you is, how can I tell this woman in a way that won't cause friction between us and get my point across to where she stops hitting on me? HBO, help a brother out. So, like I said, by many people's standards, that probably wouldn't even be a situation. There's a lot of guys that probably would just roll with it. I honor this brother for even having the strength of humility to write in and ask someone's opinion about a situation just to try to get some advice that he thought that mattered. Um, so I want to thank you for your courage, in the first place. Um, I'm interested in, when I read this, I'm interested in what made you specify that you were a black male. I mean, you could have been black male, white male, because that lends a little bit more to the story. Is this a matter of like racial discrimination, or a type of privilege or something like that? I'm just not sure what that indicated. So that would have helped me in some of what I have to say to you. But we'll just move on. I do know, you know me though, all things are relative. Anybody that knows I believe that. You expressed a lot of love for your girl. You're thinking marriage. Um, that life is brighter just by knowing her. That you want, you might want her to be your wife. This letter was so refreshing when I was reading it. It was so refreshing um, to have someone speak so highly of the woman, and your sincerity even came across on through your pen, through the letter. So that they gave me a warm feeling. It went downhill a little bit after that, but you know, here you're mentioning that this lady can be vindictive. So obviously, you're a little apprehensive about the repercussions, and perhaps rightfully so. I don't know what the situation is, but what I would think is that you would take this very seriously if you thought there could be some kind of repercussions because you denied the advances of your boss. then that's certainly something to consider. So, you know, it's disrespectful. The lady's actually taking cold-blooded advantage of her authority on you, and it's clear, and it's becoming, like you put it, soap opera in the workplace, which is toxic. You know, everybody might think it's cute, but it's personally toxic, and it's probably going to get ever more so. So, you know, andale, you know, and try to deal with this. I think that there's a number of things that you could try. Um, have you went and told her straight up? I mean, just respectfully so. You just may have to, you know, set a meeting with your manager and tell her that, hey, this is not working for me. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. I think you're a wonderful person, but I'm all set. You know, sometimes, you know, women, a direct report is good. That, you know, they want to hear you say, because they, you know, some would like to be in that position where somebody, you know, in spite of how beautiful I may be, somebody's dedicated to their woman. Listen, that's a good place to be. And, you know, I would think that she would honor it. Another thing I thought as I was reading is, have you actually told your woman about this? See, bro, because this will backfire on you if you don't. Because, you know, I don't want to sound sexist, but, you know, women are emotional and things can happen, man. And, you know, then you'll be with that. You know, you hadn't thought it out, and you'll be with caught blindsided, and that's not, you know, where you want to be. So if I were you, I'd man up and just tell, you know, your woman about the situation and tell how you feel about it. Because, you know, women know women. And, you know, she may be able to lend, you know, a helping hand in how you know, you guys would approach this thing. So don't discount her. Let her know, because, you know, two heads are better than one. And then to keep this from blowing up in your face, innocently. So, you know, if you share that with her, then you guys will be on the same page. You know, obviously this is just a blatant, I'm gonna say reverse example of sexual harassment. When somebody uses their power or their authority over you, or whatever may be intimidating over you or enticing to over you, then that's harassment, especially if it's unwanted. So another thing that you could do is, because it is harassment, is have you considered going to your HR? Go to the HR and just let them know that how you're feeling about this, because it becomes documented. So now you have some recourse. That it was unwanted. You in fact took the measures to go to HR. Two is you've told your woman about it. So now you've got that protection as well. Three is this three is, it's not necessarily three, is even though if this woman, if they were to have to talk to her, she would probably know it's you in all likelihood. So, but nevertheless, if you had already mentioned it to her, like we talked about a minute ago, right, to your boss directly about how you were feeling, and if it doesn't stop then, if you go to HR, now it's documented. If she does come back with any type of retaliation, you got this long paper trail, and you have a defense rather than just being, you know, up the creek just because, you know, you're a guy that can't prove your allegation. So, you know, that's what I would think, man. Things wrongly happen. I remember one time I was working about 20 years ago as a medical assistant, and I was working in a huge doctor's office, and the doctor's office had its own lab. So as I was waiting for one of my patients, I was standing up in the door of the lab, because here's the hallway, and the lab was behind me, and the area that I was going to see the woman in the room I was going to see, and it was straight across from me. So the lab lady, she's sitting in the chair behind me, and she says, you know, I'm leaning against the wall, minding my own business, waiting for my patient to come. She says, Stan, you know, you don't seem like you're into this. And I turned around and I asked her, because she didn't know where my headspace was, what do you mean? I forget her name. I want to say Pat, but. And she said, you know, you just don't seem like you're really into this, that your mind is somewhere else. I said, well, I don't know why she thought that, because I was doing everything I needed to do. Um, Perhaps my personality wasn't jovial enough for her that particular day. But anyway, um, but I told her, I said, Pat, I've been doing this for a while now, and which I had about 10, 15 years. And she said, I said, the thrill is gone. I said, what I want to do basically now is just the Lord's work. And her response caught me so off guard, because she said, well, I don't think the doctors would appreciate that. I'm not quite sure what she meant by that, because I didn't see how that fit into the context of what we were talking about, how they would feel about me wanting to do the Lord's work. But anyway, and so as a result, when she said that, I asked her, I said, what do the doctors have to do with what I just said? Well, when I said that, she escalated her voice. And at that time, the office manager was walking by, and she asked me, what's going on, Stan? And I said, you know what, you have to ask her. I'm not quite sure. And she turned around and looked at me and says, I think you can take the rest of the day off. She said, Stan, why don't you take the rest of the day off? Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm just going to man up and be vulnerable, because I cried about that. I cried because it just seemed like such an injustice, because I said that I wanted to do the Lord's work, because I was kind of thinking through what my next steps were going to be, while, adequately, and effectively doing my job. I just, it is what it is. So, but the point that I'm trying to make, let me tell the rest of the story. So I cried. I gathered my stuff. I went out to my car, to the parking lot, and I cried. And I said, Lord, see, I tried to do right. I forget exactly what I said, but, I took it to the Lord. Well, it wasn't shortly thereafter. I got a job making about $3, $4 more an hour, better hours, better situation. The Lord is faithful. So you've mentioned it. The Lord is your rest. That you've been of God and in God for many years now. Rest on that, man. And in spite of the outcome, because God works in mysterious ways, but I know that He's always good, and I know that things always work out for our good, according to His word. Just hang on to that, and see what happens. I'd love for you to get back to us. Get back to us, right back, or you can go on one of our blogtalk.com /sincerely Stan blog posts, and you can chime in. You can actually call in if you'd like, and we can chat about it. However, we'd like a follow-up and find out what happens. This would be very interesting and encouraging for a lot of us, because that's exactly what we need. We need to be able to be vulnerable and to address things the right way rather than the wrong way. So I applaud you. All right, my brother. To all my fans and all my friends and all my family, God loves you, and I do too. Until next time.